Hello guys and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. There's been a long time since I've been wanting to make a video about this game Ikariam. I've played this game a long time ago when I was a teenager, and back then I had no idea how to play this. I just enjoyed, collecting resources, farming, building, pillaging my friends that used to play as well back then, pissing them off. It was very fun. And in the meantime, after that, I took a break from the game and never came back playing it. I was, I guess, drawn more by the AAA RPGs and shooters, that those fancier games that we have. But now I came back at it, and I guess I figured out a lot of a lot of the competitive side of the game that I didn't know even exist back then. And you know, I this habit that I have is to research more about a game that I'm playing to be more competitive, try to find guides and content online to help me. And with this game, I have not found almost anything. No, complete guide or, no big discussions. I have found some things here and there, but they're very shallow. Nobody really goes through detailed about what they're doing, what's the best way to grow and the different ways to grow, strategies and whatnot. So in this video, I just want to, introduce some concepts, discuss some things about ways to grow, what's the fastest way, what you should focus on. And but on this video, I just want to work the concept, the concept of growth, of economy. And beware, I'm not a pro at this game or anything. I'm currently at a high position in my server. As you can see, I have some premium stuff, of course, but I will talk about this as well in other videos, maybe. But as you can see in my server is Brazilian. I changed it to English to make it more, international, I guess, for everyone that is watching. But I am at a decent high position, and I have achieved this. I made some mistakes that looking back now, I can see that were big mistakes. But I have achieved a decent position being a completely newbie, I guess, to the game. I knew how it works back then when I played, but I've never played it fully competitive. So what I want to do is share what I've learned and what I think it's good for the game to help as many players that are interested in it to, be more competitive, have more people in that top 50, top 100, closer to that, instead of having a big gap, let's say from the top 100 to everyone else. And one thing that I think it's the most important thing when you're growing, let's say from 0 to like 100 or 150,000 points, is obviously resource generation. But there is one part of resource generation that I guess most new players forget about or just avoid touching in this subject, which is resource generation by pillaging, using your ships to rob other people or even attack the barbarians, the this new edition that in my time I don't think I remember having this in the game. But you know, if you were to look at my current total resource generation, I am at this much per hour, you know. But if I were to do a simple exercise, a simple mental exercise here, and calculate the amount of resources I can generate extra per hour per pillaging, I could just make some simple simulations here, with my total amount of ships. So right now I have 94, so I can transport 47,000, resources with all my ships. if I find anyone with a full warehouse that I can pillage from in, let's say, a radius of a total hour of 2 or around 3 hours, you know, distance from me total, I could generate around 23 to 15,000 more resources per hour. So I'm saying that if I can pillage someone, whether this it's an active player or a weak player that is not guarding his resources very well, and I can fill up my boats, and this guy is around 2 to 3 hours, I can double or triple this amount of production per hour. And the way that I grew in my early stages of this game was by not producing anything at all in these mines. So I had 0 workers in all of the mines, and I was just generating gold to get more ships, buy more ships, and with these ships I would get more resources per hour because there were a lot of inactive players near me or weak players that I could just pillage and get away from. And even the barbarian village that I attacked quite a lot, not on this island because that's I guess a matter for a different video, but in these other islands that I was pillaging, I went, I don't know, I guess to almost level 30 or something in the barbarian village. So this is a massive boost for your growth in the early game, you know, because as you can see right now, my total resource generation, even now that I'm fairly, sizable, I guess, fairly big, is so small. I just finished building my sixth city, and I'm not even collecting resources there right now, but look at this. And if you just compare with this simple analogy that I made, I can get the same amount of production or even more if I'm just pillaging a player that's nearby, And if you have the resource that allows you to occupy the town, you can be you can have a even longer radius because you don't have to do a back and forth trip. Since you're occupying a town, you just need to send your ships back from the place you're occupying. So you can expand even more the radius of your search for an inactive player or someone that you just want to pillage. So I think that this is the most important thing that you need to do when you are just growing from the beginning. And I'm showing this and I'm quoting this to be important because it was so massive for me that it was better for me to just gain gold early on because the ships early on are much less expensive, they're much cheaper. So it was much better to just buy ships and use these ships to farm the barbarian village or other players rather than to just produce the resources themselves. So it's something that you gotta be constantly thinking and calculating, I guess, what's more worth it in this game. If it is to spend your gold on workers to get the resources, or to get gold to buy ships and use these more ships to carry more resources from villages to your town. I think that later on, you're not going to be able to solely rely on pillaging. You're going to have to switch to a more hybrid approach, like I am doing right now. I am still pillaging players, still pillaging people, but I am also farm and resource. I'm doing both things because I think that if I was producing no resources at all, I would be at a much less rate of growth, obviously, because I can't fill my ships and I can't find any more players that are suitable for me to attack and pillage. So it's a more conservative approach. I guess if I could find people to pillage 100% of the time, it would be much better. Instead of spending all this gold on workers, it will be much better to keep buying more ships. And the more ships I have, the bigger this number is gonna be in total, not just the production of the mines. This calculation I did about the how many resources per hour you can get with your ships. So I guess that's the main idea of this video. I still want to do another one where I want to be talking about what you should build. If you're a new player and got a new account. But I guess if you paid attention enough in this video and you started thinking about it, it's gonna be the town hall. Obviously, when you're starting out, the most important thing for you is to have high population, start generating gold, or putting those workers in to get more resources to grow. So just gonna give that spoiler already to you. The second most important thing about this just overall strategy is gonna be the town hall. That should be your main focus to get more population. And obviously, since you're gonna be improving the town hall, it's gonna be mandatory for you to improve your tavern or museum to generate more satisfaction for your population to grow. So that is they work together. You can't build one without the other. So I guess this is gonna be it for this first video, because I don't want it to be too long. And yeah, next time I'm gonna do a more detailed and thorough, I guess, approach to what you should build and what's best to build early on. I guess I can do this with my new town that I'm building already, and talk about a little about the researches that you should focus to have a strong economy. But that's it for now. Thank for watching, and if you disagree with me in anything, or you just wanna leave a support message, be feel free to use the comment section, and see you.